So I decided to do some farming in Mortal Shell 2. Basically, I wanted a couple levels before going on to the game's final boss. But, because I hate myself, instead of just finding a spot and grinding, I decided I'm going to look around, grab all the farming spots that I've seen online, and also test a couple other spots that I suspected would be good places to farm. And so, in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the spots that I found to be helpful, one of the spots that I didn't find to be super helpful, and also the build I ended up using for farming, so stick around to the end to see that. For now, let's get into it, starting with the first location. To get here, you go to Widow's Overlook, basically the first beacon in Faneweald that you get to from the top of Marrow Keep. You go all the way down into the Mushroom Village, through the Mushroom Village, across all the loopy bridges, there's a big corrupted gate. You go into the corrupted gate, and I am now at the second beacon within there, the Sunken Village beacon. Across this bridge is where you fight the Wandering Shepherd or Tar-Blighted Shepherd boss. And this is the first farming spot, because this area is full of sheep. Specifically, there are 9 of them. And if you kill them, you get 50 gloom. Now 50 gloom isn't all that much. Even before 50 for all 9 sheep isn't all that much. But they literally can't fight back. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. So, if you ever need just a couple levels, you're a little bit short on gloom, I recommend going here, killing the sheep. I don't recommend doing this long term, because even though you do get some gloom, and if you're using Proxima with her specimens, which I'll cover more in the build section, you do get some gold, you get a little bit of EXP for your tar stones. It's not that great. I did 10 total runs. After that, I got 4,131 gloom. The reason for the odd number is because I was using the Justiciars and Gloombound Tarstones. Justiciars didn't actually do anything here. Gloombound 4% extra gloom. So that 131 is in that 4%. I got 3,000 gold, so I dropped 30 specimens, and 750 EXP on my Tarstones. Approximating that out, rather than 10 runs, which took me 5 minutes and 18 seconds, if I'd spent an hour farming, I would have gotten about 47,000 gloom, about 34,000 gold, and about 8,500 EXP. Which isn't nothing, but for an hour's time is honestly not great, especially given how much gloom bosses give. So again, really early game, you just need a couple thousand gloom. Good spot because it's 100% risk-free. Long term, I recommend farming somewhere else. And so the first place that I thought of for the somewhere else was the Gate of Mammon. That's located in the Mammon region, all the way over here by another corrupted gate. So I got there, I went to work, I started killing the coffins. This is a really commonly suggested farming spot. And after doing a few runs, I'm going to be honest, I think it's a bit overhyped. Because number one, the coffins primarily drop gloom. They give you a good bit of gloom, decent bit of EXP, but they don't drop gold. So your only source of gold is going to be Proxima specimens, which has the same problem as the sheep. The second problem I have, the coffins are really annoying to farm, especially if you're trying to go fast. They'll grab you. Also, because they're disguised as coffins, occasionally I'd miss one. And so I wasn't super happy with the spot. So instead, I ended up looking around and I found a pretty neat spot, the outskirts of Mammon. So this is the first beacon that you will get to in Mammon if you take the teleporter at the top of Marrow Keep. Also, once you get fast travel, it's unlocked automatically. So while you can get here pretty darn early, it's a tough area. Enemies hit hard and they have a fair bit of health. But here's the thing about this area. There's 3 dudes over there. There's a knight and an additional dude here. There's another knight over here. Then coming over to this overlook, yes, I will probably aggro the knight along the way. There's another knight down there and a whole bunch of extra dudes. And so if you kill any of them, like that, not very much gloom from the little guys, but the knight gives 600 each. But the nice thing about the enemies here is that they're humans, so they drop coins in addition to the gloom. Meaning, you're going to get way more coins than farming something like the sheep or the coffins, where all of your coin drops come from Proxima specimens. And so, basically, I would just do a loop around the area. I'd kill the 3 guys, the knight and the guy, I'd kill the knight with 2 shield dudes, then I'd go down and kill the other knight and all the dudes at the end. I'm pretty sure that if I only cared about gloom, the best thing to do is just kill the knights, skip the little guys. But for this, I wanted gloom, EXP, and gold. And the little guys drop a lot of gold. So I ended up doing 20 runs here. First with Proxima, and then a second time with Gragu, because I wanted to test if Proxima's specimen drops ended up giving so much more gold that it was actually worth doing as opposed to using Gragu, because my build is resolve based, and Gragu has a passive that gives him resolve on kill. Again, more about that in the build section. The TLDR of that is, Proxima gave me about 3,000 extra coins. Sounds good, right? Well, 10 runs on Proxima took 12 total minutes. Little over 1 minute per run. 10 runs on Gragu took 9 minutes 30 seconds, meaning I actually get more coins, gloom, and EXP per hour, especially since Gragu has a gloom bonus, by using Gragu. So that's what I did, and this is the place where I did most of my farming. After doing 10 runs on Gragu, I got 30,058 gloom, 13,812 coins, 13,450 EXP. Again, in 9 minutes 30 seconds. So, multiplying that out, as if I had done that for a full hour, basically the number times 6.3, I got about 190,000 gloom, 87,000 coins, and 85,000 experience. Those are way better numbers than the sheep, and I'm pretty darn happy with it. Just remember, you do have to run around and collect all of those coins. It is a menu setting to auto-collect them without having to run up and press A. Also, if you found the content helpful so far, do be sure to get subscribed, and if you want more, check out my tips and tricks video after this where I go over menu settings and all sorts of other stuff. Now, there is one more spot where you can get way more gloom. That's a late game area. So I first wanted to tell you about a spot where you can farm Grisha Remnants. There's a secret dungeon in the Marrow Keep. Head down the stairs towards Sester Ganessa's area. There's going to be an invisible wall marked by a symbol. You hit it, it disappears. Inside, there's a room with a thing in the center bound by chains. You hit the chains, you break them all with attacks. And then you go into this really cool dungeon that was inspired by Doom. It's a secret area, if you will. Inside that secret area, if you go to the left side, there's going to be a big staircase up. And at the base of the staircase, on the right side, there's a switch you can hit. When you hit the switch, it lowers a ramp. Go all the way back to the opposite side of the room. But here, you're going to find a Grisha. You can kill it, and it drops a Grisha Remnant. Then, you can simply exit to main menu to reset the dungeon, go back in, do it again. Do it as many times as you would like. And why is it good to farm extra Grisha Remnants? Because the Grisha hits quite hard, and it knocks enemies down. This can be used to stunlock bosses, by the way. The chance to summon a Grisha is proportional to the remnants found once you found 3. You can reset this as many times as you want, and farm as many as you want. I have 9 because I didn't farm it particularly hard. If I spent a couple hours doing it, I'm pretty sure I'd have like 100 plus, and no boss in the game would be able to attack me ever again. Now this last farming spot does take place in an endgame area. If you don't want to see that, jump ahead to the build section. So the region is the Unfound Path. It's the giant hole in the floor that opens up in the Marrow Keep. And the area we are specifically looking for is Faithful's Shelter. Again, if you haven't found this yet, progress the game, kill bosses, progress through the zone till you find this beacon. And specifically, what we are looking for here are the enemies right down this way. They're going to look like giant bugs, and they give a ton of gloom. So, a couple shots from my crossbow, it's going to die to the burning dot, like that. And look, 3,056 gloom. There are also these little guys. I don't recommend wasting your time killing those, because 165 gloom. So, kill the other bug, another 3,056. And then at the end of a run, just exit to main menu and log back in, because it's way faster than running back. I did yet another 10 runs here, and this time I was doing it as Gragu, so I got 0 coins, because they don't drop coins. After 10 runs, I had 63,964 gloom. Actually, forgot to equip the gloom-bound stone, so it should have been higher. And because I was relogging, I think I forgot to pick up a little bit of a gloom because I'm pretty sure I should have gotten just shy of 70,000. Either way, that happens. It's not perfect. Got 4,000 EXP in addition. But those runs did not take very long. They took 5 minutes and 45 seconds, which, as you'll note, is way shorter than the last set of runs. So, multiplying that out to reach an hourly rate, I would have gotten 665,000 gloom per hour and about 42,000 EXP. Which, if I actually managed to pick up all the gloom and it didn't cost me too much time, that would be over 700,000 gloom per hour, which is absolutely ridiculous. If you want to find out what the max level in the game is, to my knowledge, this is the best way to do it. And so yeah, if you just need gloom, that farming spot is absolutely crazy. If you also need gold, Mammon still wins, surprisingly. With that said, while I did test quite a few farming spots, I didn't test every single farming spot in the game. So if you have found a really cool farming spot that I didn't talk about in this video, that gets tons of EXP, gloom per hour, all that, please post it down in the comments below. Also, do 10 runs. Track how much gloom did you get, how many coins did you get, how much EXP did you get, were you using Gragu, were you using Proxima, if so, how many of the coins were from Proxima's specimens. Leave that, share with the community. If there's one that's really cool, I might even pin your comment. But now, I wanted to talk about the build that I used to farm. Because hitting enemies with melee attacks gets the job done, but it takes a while. So instead, I created a ranged build that essentially lets me bomb enemies with artillery. I did this by combining the Forgotten Crossbow with the Solnir Shard. So as a note, this is compatible with both the Nail Shot and the Caged Hystrix. So this is not exclusive just to the crossbow. I then combined it with the Ember Seed Stone, because this is available really early on in the game, and the Corroded Stone for 30% additional damage. You can find the Corroded Stone in the Sunken Village Beacon, the place where we did the sheep farming, and the Ember Seed Stone in the Mushroom Village Beacon just before it. For extra damage, I was also using the Marksman Stone and the Deadeye Stone, so extra crit chance, extra crit damage. Optionally, there's the Spite Stone if stuff hits you. It's a really nice damage bump. But the most important part of the setup is the Solnir Shard, because that's what gives your sidearm the crazy alt-fire that just does this massive explosion, does tons of damage, adds tons of burn stacks. I have melted bosses with this. It's very OP. And this is found in here, specifically from cleansing the Citadel Annex Beacon. So basically you have to go all the way through here, or all the way through and around here. You get to this gate, you go through Citadel Annex Beacon, you cleanse it. There's a boss called Solnir. That's where the shard gets his name. You kill him, you get it. When it comes to farming, there are also 2 shells that I recommend. The first would be Proxima the Broodseeker, specifically for her Collector perk, where she can harvest specimens from slain foes. Each specimen is worth 100 coins, and at max rank, they do drop fairly frequently. But because this is a resolved build, I also really like Gragu, specifically for his tier 3 talent, Devourer. When his revered heart is full, which is very easy if you're constantly killing enemies, kills grant him 15% additional gloom and 15 additional resolve, meaning you get extra gloom, making your gloom farming more efficient, and the resolve means you can just keep on firing that weapon. It doesn't quite fully refund the cost, but it's pretty close, and you can use some bottled moonshine to make up the difference. That said, maybe you haven't invested into either Proxima or Gragu. Use any shell that you have with any resolve recovery bonuses that you have. Also, while not required, if you want to make your farming a little bit more efficient, there's the Justiciar's Stone. That's 4% increased coin gain. 6% if you max it out, but maxing Tar Stones is a bit pricey. And the Gloombound, which is the same but for gloom. So those are a good way to get a little bit extra out of your farming. Alrighty, and so those are the best early game, mid game, and end game farming spots that I found. I like the sheep farm because you literally can't fail, given how brutal the game is. Seems like it's good to have guaranteed gloom. The mid game spot, it's really good for just a little bit of everything. I was trying to look around and find a spot that was really good for just coins, really good for just EXP. I didn't find anything that didn't also come with some significant downsides. That said, if you want good EXP, high-level enemies tends to be a good choice. For coins, the spot near Mammon's actually pretty good. That's what I used to max out one of my weapons, get it all the way up to plus 22, which, yes, you can get weapons past plus 16, you just have to get right before the end of the game to unlock that. And then for the endgame farming spot, I mean, it's insane gloom, I don't know what else to say. It started with, oh hey, I'll get a couple levels, ended with me testing way too many farming spots. And by the way, if you're a big fan of a coffin spot, go ahead and keep using it. Don't let my opinion stop you there. Yeah, that's about all I've got for this video. Now, if you want more Mortal Shell 2 content, I do have a tips and tricks video. It goes over quite a few things. I have a beginner's guide to help you get started. I have a first impressions video going over some of my thoughts. And I have a video on how to beat the tar golem to get the achievement. Those will all be up in the card and down below. But now I have one last boss to take out. So thank you very much for watching to the end. I'm glad you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.